Oh, here we are again. Part of my next solo recital will be a piece very significant to me because in my doctoral document I analyzed in depth the Opus 8 piano trio of Brahms, its various incarnations, the one from 1853-54 and the one from roughly 89. And he revised it dramatically, and as a part of trying to show the context in which those two versions existed, I related the first version to its contemporaneous piece, the Opus 1. Actually, all of the three sonatas were written around the same time, and the scherzo and the B major trio, and probably the A major trio that we haven't wholeheartedly embraced as being by Brahms, but many experts believe is the companion to the Opus 8. In any event, I've had a fondness for this Opus 1 for a very long time and have played it. And I chose to download it. Many of you know the IMSLP database of available public domain compositions. So I downloaded a Breitkopf and Härtel version, which is, I think, dated from right around when it was composed. And I have learned this from a Schirmer edition a long time ago, which is, I've compared it with other editions as well, certainly with Henley edition and other scholarly editions. But in any event, I don't have my edition with me right now. It's in my studio at my university. But I really wanted to get a start on it since I decided I wanted to be committed to this music. So here it is in electronic form, and we'll see how much of it comes back, even though there's no fingerings, and it looks old, you know, the fonts are old, the typesetting is very different, but it warms my heart to see it. I can imagine this being the way it looked like in the mid-19th century. So I'm going to try to bring it up to date in the 21st century and see how it feels. Anyway, I'll give you a little snippet of it, I'll give me a little snippet of it, and I'll start to, I hope, have it snap back into my recollection. Body and soul. So there you go. I don't even recall if I turned my hand over or if I went for the thumb. Very interesting. Everything but the D. Has an inner note. I guess all of those inner notes are either C or G. So even the right hand has. So what I'm going to do conceptually is start the gesture on the D alone and then go to the double notes. Or this is a 20-year-old Brahms, you got to realize. So there's a lot of excesses and exuberance in here. So he gets to B flat awfully quickly. He must have been quite a pianist at the time, anyway. He also probably started to deserve a reputation as being an unpianistic pianist because a lot of things are inherently not the most comfortable fits for the hand. Now here it's very interesting because in B flat, it's single octaves until we reach the top. Oops. white note octave arpeggios are always tricky. It's not an octave for a change. So, for me, it's always a question of how you group things when you do stuff like that. Okay, so the seventh, if I just trace the pattern all the way down to G, it's a repetitive series of thirds, which I would always try to bind together in one gesture, not including the second. So it's in my head, then these two, then the chord. Now obviously that's not the rhythm that's written, it's straight eighth notes, but that's what I'm going to be thinking. So it works. I would love to have my fingerings for this. I'll get it tomorrow. Because it gets kind of canonic already. Why do I want my fingerings? Because the solution would be, the solution I had hit upon, whether or not it's the ultimate solution I embraced today or tomorrow or this month, would have been something I'm sure I would have pondered well. This is the first area of the piece, actually, that's demanding in that fashion, where the fingering will make a huge difference in comfort. Now I can spend the time, I'll probably spend a little, there's no big deal on the left hand, it has thirds and fourths, but there's limited numbers of choices, and also it's one basic voice, even though it's harmonized. In the right hand, however, it's contrapuntal, it's imitative on its own. The end is okay. 2-1 probably. Just that little bit, it's scary that it started to feel familiar. Even the shifts of fingering that are like 4-2 to 5-3, for example, and then 2 to 1. This is supposed to be turning pages for me, but it's not currently. What do I do? Somebody out there, give me a shout. I thought it would just turn if I went to this edge of the page. Maybe I will have to change settings and go to where it half-turn page is on. I like that. Still not turning for me. Well, now it's turning multiple times. I'm in a new mode, lucky me. Okay. can't see this very well. Aha! There's fingering written in here that helps. The moment I try to make it bigger, technology. Just gotta love it. I think I'll peer. I'll just get real close. This is not exactly a pianist's best posture, but hey, sometimes that's what we do. It's worth a story. Once I was playing in a very fancy club, which is to say lots of very affluent members, and I was playing with my trio, and the piano was, shall we say, not what they centered their cultural lives on, and the one thing that was missing was a rack for the music, and I had to keep my music from falling off the piano by putting a toothpick in a little hole, and I had to negotiate going around the toothpick. So that was the most fun. This is significantly less difficult than that, but it's what we put up with. Pianos are different. Okay, there's lots of stuff happening. Mechanical noises of all sorts, but I'm going to plow on through. I'm going to try to get past certainly this is one of the characteristics of the young Brahms, is that he's not great at transitions yet. So he announces these gorgeous themes, but he sort of stops dead and says, here's your new theme. So here's a little bit of transition. And it's rather endearing, I must say. Remember, 20 years old. Yes. How come it didn't work that way before? I gotta say, I don't recall it quite this way from my past experience. So I'll be very curious tomorrow to do a little research. Get there. I love the way he brings in the note. Incidentally, Brahms was renowned for loving that, what we call the "How Dry I Am" motive, the rising fourth and the seconds afterwards. Sometimes a little altered. The B major trio has a particularly strong relationship to how dry I am, because even in the minor, he uses it a lot, in other words. So we have it here. We have it in lots of places in Brahms, and it's quite lovely. Let's see if I can find my way. Oh, that buzzing is going to stop as soon as I stop this. How dry I am. That seems so wrong. Stay tuned for tomorrow's edition, which is actually a pun because it will be a different edition. I think this is really all I can take right now, because I'm straining a little bit too hard to unlock the mysteries of this. I really wanted to get my hands on it and to get my ears re-involved in this lovely piece, but this is not the best way. I will, however, I'm actually delighted to have found this edition, because I will be making reference to it as I look at it through the light of contemporary scholarship and see what might be different. Anyway, I'll see you then with this piece. In the meantime, I'll probably turn to something else. Bye-bye.